Okay, so this is going to be um whoa, I just blanked right there. Okay. This is Ano. It's my Hollow Knight OC. And I actually had a video of like a speed paint of this guy, what, September or something? But I there was so much that went wrong with editing of that video. So this sorry, just thinking about it. That one was I had one of my friends come on and we talked about it. It was like an hour long or something. So it is I don't know. It's kind of funny to reminisce on. Uh, but yeah, this is Ano. Um, if you're wondering what his name comes from, actually, we'll go in order. Uh, sorry. He is a lobster. Um, I thought that was pretty cool. Originally, he was going to be this like prehistoric bug called I have no clue what. Ballistamidae, I think. Hold on. I'll look it up. Uh, the, the, if I know how to spell it. Uh-oh. I'm trying to do this fast so I don't have to cut it out of the video. Yeah, no, I have no clue. I'll put up a picture on the screen. It's chill. But, no, I changed him to a lobster because of I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It is so funny to me. There's this thing, or not a thing, this group, and it's called like the cult of the lobster god or something, or the Leviathan lobster god or something like that. Basically, apparently there's this like scientific thing, or I don't know if it was like a research paper that just came out, or just I don't know. I'm not up to date on lobster lore like that. Sorry, but basically, if I'm remembering this correctly, I could be wrong, but we've never seen a lobster die of old age, right? Of course we've seen them grow up and die from natural causes, right? But we've never seen one where it's like, because like, basically a lobster grows larger every time it molts, right? And I'm pretty sure it grows stronger too, but I know for a fact that it like grows bigger, and like the shell, obviously gets healed when it molts. But because of that, we've never seen a lobster like kick the bucket because of what you would typically think of like old age, like dying from old age would be like withering away or whatever. We've only seen a lobster die because it's like too big, and like the body can't keep up with how much food it needs, and like there's a point where it gets so big that the next time it molts, it takes so much energy that it just like dies. So basically this cult, the cult of the Leviathan lobster god or whatever, I'll link this in the description too. It's kind of funny, but they're trying to like raise this lobster and help it molt and feed it and take care of it and everything, to see one of two things. One, what point does the lobster get so big or so old that it, does die of old age like how you would expect it to? And two, if it doesn't die of old age and it just keeps growing continuously, can we make a lobster so large that it can eat the earth? Yeah. like a eldritch abomination. Yep. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's so funny. I I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. Um, but basically, with this guy, with Anno, he's originally from like a, how do I say it? Like yeah, like an underwater cavern system. So there's Hollow Nest in Hollow Knight, there's Farloom in Silk Song, right? So this would be like a third kingdom like that. And it's all underwater with underwater bugs. So he's from, and sorry, I don't know why I started to sense like that. Basically, the currency or whatever, and the whole way of living. I was inspired by Silk Song, how the currency is actually just devotion and faith and whatnot, and it's not even like the money system isn't real money. It's more just like luck. Like the rosaries represent your faith. So the more you have, it's not like the wealthier you are, it's the more blessed you are, right? So this kingdom, I haven't decided on name yet, is kind of similar, except instead of faith like that, it's like, well, it's still faith, but like the religion is based off of combat instead of like the ascent or whatever. So the palace, whatever you want to call it, instead of being like this regal place or like a temple or something, it's like this giant gladiator arena. And one of the fighters was Anno, right? And basically it was this kind of experiment or project or whatever, because they're all fighting not as like a competition. Like it's not, I'm gonna defeat you and then I'm gonna be like higher up. It's more of like, we're gonna fight, one of us is gonna win, the person who wins will be higher up. It's like you want the other person to win as much as you want to win yourself, you know? So there was this they discovered that lobsters, it's pretty similar to the cult, where it's like, oh, lobsters can grow endlessly, why don't we just take one of them and like raise it so that it grows endlessly, and then eventually it'll ascend and commune with the god or deity or whatever, and then we'll all be blessed, right? So they had these lobsters, and you know, after a while they would die, of course. So it was kind of like, Anno is not the biggest or strongest one of his kind. He's just the only one who has survived, and like who isn't constantly in pain and like suffocating, right? So what else? Oh, he I don't know. This is kind of like a character for the there's a Hollow Knight TTRPG, basically Hollow Knight D&D game, right? And that was kind of the only real inspiration for this guy. So aside from that backstory, he doesn't have much going on. Like, he just has that backstory. He doesn't have any like forward plan, right? Um, it's I mean, he did leave. He kind of have to leave eventually, just so that the story can happen, you know. But I assume that he left because he didn't want to die, or more of like maybe like he didn't feel ready to ascend, you know, because he was reaching his peak and he could feel himself slowing down. So he's like, oh no, this is not gonna work. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to have him like still indoctrinated, kind of. Anyways, what else? What else? Oh yeah, I talked about the currency. Basically, you know how when you hit an enemy, like the soul flies out of them. I'm thinking underwater, some of the soul that flies out when you hit an enemy. I think some of it would like mix with the water or whatever the environment is made out of, and like coalesce into these tiny droplets, right? And when I was explaining this to a friend, they were like, oh, I thought you were just gonna say pearls. I thought you were gonna say the currency is pearls. So they're gonna be called pearls, but they're basically like blood droplets, pretty much, quote unquote blood, you know. Let's see. Thinking about what else to say. This is kind of like I I started this video probably, like technically I started it yesterday, but I've done all the work today, which is kind of crazy. Usually I do like 3 hours of video stuff, and some of that involves at least like thinking of what I'm gonna say, not scripting anything, but you know, being like, okay, well, what is there? Like, let me get like, because I edit it and I look at the speed paint or whatever, and then I think to myself, I'm like, what is it? Or even while I'm drawing, I'm like, let's see, what's up with this? Like, what can I say about this? You can see me experimenting with the colors a lot. I'm not very satisfied with what I ended up with, to be honest. But I did an alt. I did an alternative color scheme just for you guys. Ooh, sorry, I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at the mistakes I'm making right now. But yeah, I did an alt color scheme. So you'll see that in a second. Let me think. I could go through like his build, but I don't want to do that because this is not free for the public. I'm playing this guy, not you. Sorry, that was stupid. Yeah, somebody's definitely gonna watch this video and they're gonna be so inspired by the concept of Anno that they're gonna be like, oh wait, let me take this idea as my own and let me play this guy. Yeah, no, totally. Hey, if you want to do it, go for it. I'm not gonna know. What? Oh, his name, Anno. It's like I do have another character called Anno. And yes, I did just reuse the name because I did not have a name for this guy. So that's probably a placeholder for now. It's a very similar story where it's like in the championship ring, whatever you want to call it, in the arena, people were always like, ah, no, you know, or whatever they say when they die. So yeah, he didn't have a real name, and that's the only thing he ever heard people like call him or say to him. So yeah. Um, Also, I only realized this recently, but like Silksong character, I don't know about Hollow Knight, but I've been playing Silksong recently, and they're the characters' names are like usually just words. They're usually just actual words, you know? Like obviously Hornet, you know, Lace, Phantom, and don't worry, I won't talk about these guys, so no spoilers here. But I mean, I guess if you count knowing that those are names as spoilers, then oops. Uh, I had like a good one that I just thought of, or not that I just, but I thought of recently when I made this discovery, and I was like, oh my god. Oh, Lone in Silksong. Don't know who that is. I'm thinking hard. I'm thinking hard about also what to say. I don't know. I'm running out. But I don't want to. I don't want the last half of it because this video is only like 20 minutes long. It's 21 minutes and 18 seconds. You know, so I don't want to like tap out halfway through. I guess not halfway through. I'm almost done. I don't want to just like put in chunks of music without me talking, especially because it doesn't seem that people like the silent or like with just the music playing, those kind of speed paints. Like those ones are the ones that get the least amount of views every time I post one. So I assume, you know, people kind of want to hear dialogue or a monologue, me talking to the void, a soliloquy. That's what that would be. Sorry. I guess I could just talk like, I don't know, I've been kind of yapping in this one. I haven't been talking about anything in particular. Like, I ran out of things to say about this guy, to be honest. Let me think. What else? He doesn't use weapons because he has the pincers. So, yeah, he really only kind of like, I mean, they have like a sharp tip at the end, so that can use for puncturing or slashing. Obviously, they're spiked on the inside. His shell is like really dense or thick or heavy or whatever, so you know he can just charge into you. He would deal double damage to Hornet. Oh yeah, I hate double damage. I think if he was in Silksong, he would probably teach you a move or something, you know, like how you learn parry or the great slash or whatever. He would probably teach you It's quite interesting. Also, because I haven't finished Silksong, so I don't know what abilities are out there, you know? I don't know what I'm missing out on. But he would probably you probably like fight him, like practice combat on him, like a training dummy. Like how you can hit the Bell Beast as many times as you want and it doesn't die. It would be kind of like that, but like for training purposes. Yeah, and this is where I start working on the blue version. It's really just like a total color swap. I think the only new color I introduced, like this, both of these drawings, like the total number of colors I used is like 6 or 7. But yeah, this was a very fast drawing that I did. I guess you can kind of tell. Normally when I speed these up afterwards, I do it by like 600%, so that, you know, it's a sixth of the time. So like, what is it like? Well, you know, obviously 6 seconds becomes 1 second, and then a minute becomes 10 seconds. But this one I only did like half that. I did 300%. So this whole drawing, I'm pretty sure when I put it in the editor, I think it was like an hour long total. Like this, it's just really fast. But yeah, you can see there. I'll put it at the end here too. Red and blue. Red and blue. Yeah. There's really not that much to say. It feels like the end is so near, but so far at the same time. But I guess I've been Maruk, and thanks for coming out, everybody.